This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to The Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I am one of your hosts, Tom.
And I'm Tim.
Tim, how are you doing this week?
Tom, I'm excited and I don't want to be here.
What do you mean you're excited and you don't want to be here?
I'm excited for something else that's happening in my life
Okay.
that isn't happening here.
We're in the HeadGum studios in New York. We're back.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice in here.
Marika's recording us off mic right now.
Yeah, and I'm happy
She
to see
played
Marika.
The boys are back in town as we walked into the studio at my request.
Yeah.
It was the nicest welcoming I've ever gotten. I'm sure it was the nicest you've ever gotten.
I mean, I've been welcomed to a lot more places
I've
than you
seen
have.
you thrown out of more places than I've seen you welcomed to.
You might have, yes.
I've seen you enter places. I haven't seen you
Well,
welcomed
when I
into
enter
places.
with you, I'm not going to get a warm welcome.
Right?
At best, it's going to be neutral because they're going to be happy to see me.
He brought in Tom.
Exactly. We're now neutral.
Hide the
We were
silverware.
You ever steal something from somebody's home
No.
at like a party or anything?
No. We stole all those photographs when we were in high school.
Yeah,
But that wasn't me.
I was always too afraid to do it. But one time,
Uh-huh.
this was what do they call it? Like a repressed memory. I remembered it the other night for the
Yeah.
first time. I was really drunk, like
Okay.
probably 2007.
It was a repressed childhood memory
No,
where you
no.
were very drunk? Oh, 2007. Okay.
Yeah,
And
I never said childhood.
this was your adult life.
Yeah, but like barely.
Man, technically, no.
I was in my
in
mid
practice,
20s.
yes.
Yeah. And I got drunk, and I don't know. You were probably there.
Yeah, I was there. In 2007, I was there most times you were drunk, I would think.
Yeah. And you were. You had to buy me beer because I looked too young.
What? Oh, 2007, yeah.
Yeah.
It's before you grew the beard.
Yeah. And I went to a party of a friend of a kind of friend.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't remember who the friend, but it was like a
Yeah,
group.
that's what happens in your 20s.
Yeah.
You go to parties where you're like, I don't really know whose party this is, and they don't want me here, but
Yeah. And I stole a DVD.
why?
I don't know.
What of what?
Dimitri Martin stand-up.
Why'd you do that?
I don't know. I don't even really like Dimitri Martin that much.
Yeah, I mean, and that's also like that's a not a specialty DVD, but that's a specific DVD. It's not, everybody bought this movie. This person was probably a big Dimitri Martin fan. They probably watched that DVD all the time.
Yeah, and I remember now waking up the next morning and feeling such shame
Yeah.
that I did that I
Good.
threw it out.
Well, that didn't solve the
I
problem.
got rid of the evidence.
Right, and then apparently
So when the cops
stuff that memory down
Yeah.
real deep.
Well, when the cops showed up looking for the DVD, it wasn't there.
Yeah.
And I had repressed it so effectively.
Oh, you would be able to pass
that
a lie
I
detector
passed
test.
the lie detector
Oh, you
test.
did?
Yeah.
They administered one.
Yeah. I
Huh.
mean, they had to find out who stole the DVD.
Yeah, and DVDs used to be expensive back in the day.
Yeah.
They're
it was
not like they
probably
are
$18,
nowadays.
$19.
Yeah, if it was on sale.
Yeah.
What are you excited about that is hampering your excitement to be here?
All right. Last night,
Is it that the lights aren't right enough?
look, we're in these lovely studios.
Uh-huh.
When we weren't recording at the studio, we would record at your home.
Yeah.
And you would insist on putting and it was too weird to bring up when it was just me and you. I'm glad to have Marika here. Because it was just me and you. I didn't want to be like, why are you turning on exclusively dark red lights? It's so dark in your apartment, and
Yeah.
you have these light bulbs that
Yeah, I can make them any color.
yeah, and
You
you,
should
made
have
them
shouted-
dark red.
Shout it out a different color. I would have changed them to that.
What about just normal?
Normal's boring. You see normal lights every day. You don't see red lights that often unless you're in the district.
Or if you're driving a car and you're at an intersection.
That's true. I didn't think about it that way, Tim. How boring of me.
Yeah.
Next time you come
when
back,
I went to
there'll
your
be-
apartment, I was like, I feel like I'm waiting for the light to change so I could get on my way.
Next time you're in my apartment, Tim, I'm gonna make them the color of a summer sky, the brightest blue you've ever seen. You're gonna think you're on vacation.
I get so mad when I'm sitting at a red light in a car.
I
It's
know.
time you can't get back.
Yeah.
You're not doing anything.
You can't get any time
There's
back.
open road right in front of you.
Yeah, I mean, you can't get this time
Johnny
back.
Law tells you, oh, no, you must stop here. Even if there's no other cars coming, they don't trust you enough to be like, look, I'll go.
Right. Well, sometimes they do, and in those cases, they put a stop sign. But where they can't trust you, they put a light.
Yeah.
Why aren't you excited to be here?
I'm not excited to be here.
I mean, that's, I think, what you said exactly.
Tonight is night 2 of the Jeopardy Greatest of All Time tournament.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to get home and watch it.
Oh, you DVR it or something.
I did DVR it.
Okay. You can
But
watch it when you go home.
I don't want to be spoiled.
Who's going to spoil it?
They're going to be talking
the
about it out on the
cab
street.
driver?
Yeah, probably.
No, you'll be fine.
They're going to talk about Ken Jennings' come from behind win against James Holzhauer.
It sounds like you already know what happens.
No, that was last night, Tom.
Oh. You said tonight's night too?
Yeah.
Oh, so come from behind within that game, not within the
Yeah.
the series. How long is the series?
All right. Well, it's as few as 3 nights,
Uh-huh.
which encompasses 6 games
Right.
or 3 matches, and as many as 7 nights, 7 matches, 14 games.
You tell me things I talk about are boring all the time on this show.
Yeah, and that's true.
But now I think you should take a look in the mirror.
Why? Because America's hottest quiz sensation.
It's not a sensation. It's been on for 40 years.
It's
or
in prime
more.
time on network television, Tom.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay. I rescind my comments. What are
That's where people like Kelsey Grammer, you
Mhm.
find them.
Yeah, that's his playground. Prime time.
Anthony Anderson.
Right.
Ted
And
Danson.
more of today's hottest stars.
Yeah.
What do they put on in this syndicated Jeopardy time slot? Just a regular
Get
episode,
this,
a rerun?
regular Jeopardy is going. No, new episodes.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow, they're burning through.
They're working
material.
Trebek like a dog right now. It's unconscionable
sick.
what they're doing. Yeah.
It's really 24 hours a day, just making new Jeopardy content.
Yeah. This is it's a very exciting time for me, Tom, and I don't want to be up all night watching this on DVR.
You're not going to be.
So
It's a half hour long.
It's an hour long,
Okay,
Tom.
42 minutes with commercials.
Yeah, but
And you're
then
gonna
I also have
skip
to watch
through
the
commer-
regular
I
episode.
thought you were going to say I have to watch the commercials.
Well, I want to see what.
What if they're advertising Jeopardy-related products I might be interested
I mean,
in?
they are sometimes.
Like what? Jeopardy, the home game? They do that at the end when they're doing the considerations provided
Jeopardy
by...
apparel,
Mm-hmm.
fake mustaches, so you can look
No,
like
not fake
Alex Trebek
mustache.
from a few years ago.
That I don't buy it.
Gowns, evening gowns. That's more of a Wheel of Fortune tie-in.
Yeah. Pat Sajak's got his daughter stepping in for him on Wheel of Fortune. Well, technically...
Vanna White is not his daughter.
No. No. Vanna White. You know what?
You misunderstood that relationship. A lot of people think they're like married or something.
Right.
But look, hey.
No, Pat Sajak has...
Vanna White looks great, but she's not young enough to be...
Pat Sajak has some kind of health issue as well.
Why are we talking about this?
Because you brought it up. God damn it.
I brought up Jeopardy.
Yeah, Wheel of Fortune's on right before Jeopardy.
It's on after Jeopardy,
Pat-
you idiot.
It depends on the market you're in.
Well, in our market. Have you ever
I
been in a market
I
where
grew up in Mountain Time, Tim, and it's on there first. No, I feel like that was the case in North Carolina. When I was in North Carolina, it was
So on vacation one
yeah,
time.
a few times it was Wheel of Fortune, then Jeopardy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
So Pat Sajak's like out for some procedure or whatever. They move the roster up. So Vanna White is hosting,
Mm-hmm.
but then Pat Sajak's daughter is pressing the letters.
Oh, you know who they had doing it before?
Who?
Minnie Mouse.
What?
Yeah.
How?
She just point to them.
No, how did she exist in the real world?
What do you mean?
How did Minnie Mouse
You ever been to Disney
escape
World?
the two-dimensional realm and be
I don't know.
in-
It happens every day in Orlando, Florida.
I gotta get down there.
Yeah.
Oh, so it was just somebody in a costume. But they never
I don't know how it
they
works.
never let on that was the case. Did
No,
she talk?
She took the head off
Oh,
frequently.
that's
There
disgusting.
was a man in there.
Did she talk at all? I guess Vanna White doesn't talk.
No.
They should have mascots doing that more, huh?
I mean, I think Vanna White does a fine job.
Yeah, but any idiot can do a fine job. You're tapping things. And it used to be hard to do, but now we all have these phones. We all know how to tap things.
Yeah, that's true.
So anyone could off the street, they could be like, we need somebody to tap things that light up. And be like, oh, like a phone? Not like a phone, you idiot. Like a big board. To be like, all right, well, I'll try. And don't talk.
And then what?
And then they give him the job. They put him in a gown. Was Minnie Mouse wearing a gown?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I didn't see Minnie Mouse actually do it. I just read about it. I read a lot of
Where'd you
articles
read
about game
about it?
shows in the newspaper. Tom,
And then,
educate yourself once in a while. Pick up a newspaper, read a news story.
was it a report about it?
Did you see Pat Sajak's daughter turning the thing?
No,
Did she
I
wear-
read a report about it, but that's a much bigger deal than Minnie Mouse coming on board.
What are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Minnie
why
Mouse
was
finally gets a job after all these years.
Why? Oh, now you sound just like Mickey. Tim, this week we're talking about some special felines.
Cats.
Do
Do you know how long the longest cat is, Tom?
Tim, you teased this to me before the show started.
Uh-huh.
And I was hoping you were going to save this for. I asked you to save it until the episode.
Yeah, and I can't wait. I'm chomping
All
at the
right.
bit.
There's a house cat or like any cat?
The world's longest domestic cat.
Okay, a house cat.
Domestic cat.
How long is the cat? Are we talking nose to tail? Nose to tip of tail?
Yeah,
Eh. Well, it could have an abnormally long tail.
it doesn't. I'll tell you that.
Okay. How
It's
long? Give it to me in feet. I don't want inches.
No, you need it in inches.
Oh, come on.
I'm not telling you. You have to guess.
Oh, I don't know. 100 inches long.
Guess seriously.
What? I think a house cat could be, let's see, 36 inches long.
No, you idiot. 48.5 inches.
Wow, that's a pretty long
It's
cat.
4 feet long.
That's a long cat.
It's a long cat, but it's not like
I
you-
want like 7 feet.
the Guinness Book of World Records went somewhere, took a picture of the cat,
Yeah.
printed it in a book,
Mm-hmm.
and made this web video about it
Right.
for 4 feet.
Right. And I bet there's a lot of cats that are, I don't know, 3.5 feet or something.
Mhm.
I want to see.
I don't think it includes the tail by the looks of this picture, actually.
I buy the Guinness Book of World Records every year to see freaks, not just to see, oh, this thing beat out the next thing by an inch or two.
Yeah.
I want to see some real monsters
What
in there.
kind of
when
monsters?
the world's tallest man, where it's like he's his head's
You-
in outer space.
You're only comfortable seeing that in the pages of a book where you can tell yourself, now this isn't
He's
real.
not real.
Yeah.
This is a Photoshop. They're lying. It is forced perspective that they're using.
The Guinness Book of World Records these days is wild.
Is it?
Yeah, it's all pictures. It's all in
Okay.
color. It's not. Remember the old one? Like felt
Oh,
like a
It was like a
dictionary. or
Yeah, it was like
something.
the phone book or something.
Yeah.
It was printed on like black and white newsprint.
Yeah, the pages were so thin.
It was like a reference volume. Who was referring to this often
mean-
other than 10-year-old boys?
Yeah, well, when you're like 8, 9, or 10, that like makes you feel like, oh yeah, this is a very grown up thing I'm doing.
Yeah,
I'm
I
reading
feel like
this-
I'm a
this important book.
bookie or something,
Yeah.
looking these things up.
Yeah, now it's all colorful.
Hmm
It's
It's
large.
hardbound, I believe.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
Got a copy of it in my home right now.
Tim, I told you I buy a copy every year, just for the freaks.
We were talking about cats.
Cats, the movie,
Oh,
not the animal. But let me tell you, the movie is about the animal, so you're not too far off.
okay. Because I just have a bunch of cat facts.
Okay.
Cats can't taste sweetness.
Ooh. Huh.
How do they know that?
Because they Because they can tell what taste buds do by looking at them.
Didn't they do a thing where they downloaded a cat's brain a few years ago?
Tim, you gotta stop reading whatever. the
No,
hell
they
you're
were
reading.
able to like get a picture out of a cat's brain. I know this sounds crazy.
Tim.
You talk about
They were
something else.
able to get a picture. No, I'm not going to talk about something else. So you can Google picture out of cat's brain.
They saw it wasn't high
They
res.
saw what was it? A picture of a mouse, a picture of a dog, maybe a fish bone.
You talk about whatever you want to talk about. That's so interesting.
All right.
I'll do this a little bit of research.
I saw the motion picture Cats that came out. I'm looking. Tim's vibrating with laughter as he's typing.
What do I Google for this?
Picture of cat from Brain downloaded
no,
from Brain.
I get all this stuff about CAT scans.
Well, yeah, I think that's what, Tim. That's what you're thinking of. A CAT scan can be a picture of a brain. You jumbled up the words and you think it's they can get a picture from a cat's brain. I went and saw Cats, the motion picture. Tim, did you have any interest in seeing this movie when you heard about it?
I enjoyed the musical when I was a child.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it twice on Broadway,
Wow.
The Great White Way.
Mm-hmm.
The lights, the street illuminated by lights. Broadway, New York,
Are you
New
just
York.
trying to come up with other euphemisms for Broadway?
Yeah, what is commonly called.
Yeah.
Theater alley.
That's not what they
cats.
call Broadway.
And I want I was
We'll talk about the
interested.
musical itself in a little bit.
I was interested in the
Uh-huh.
film,
Yeah.
and then I'm not interested anymore. It doesn't seem like it's so bad that it doesn't seem like it's good,
Yeah.
and it doesn't seem like it's so bad that it's fun.
It was a little bit fun. Let me preface this by saying I've seen a lot of things on the internet about people taking drugs and going to see this movie.
Yeah.
That's a real bad idea.
Well, I don't think you should take drugs at all.
What if you're sick with pneumonia and you need antibiotics? Are you a Christian Scientist or something now?
What?
You're distracted trying to look up picture
Here's
downloaded from
the-
Cat's Brain.
Either I think they hooked the cat up to a machine, and it was able to print a picture of its memory.
What? Well, why did it have to print it? Why wouldn't it just display it on the screen? Was the printer
I don't
was
know
the
that-
printer built into the helmet they built for the cat?
You're assuming that there's a helmet.
How else are they going to get a picture of its brain?
I don't know, electrodes?
Yeah, maybe. Tim, I'm going to have to ask you to close your computer while we're talking until the next break,
No, it also.
and then you can look it up.
No, I'll just bring up my cat facts again.
Okay. Yeah, people are talking about going on drugs and seeing this movie. It's not a good idea. I haven't done any hallucinogenics, but I imagine that that's what this movie replicates pretty well on its own.
What drugs have you done?
Sudafed,
Okay. Pseudoephedrine.
pseudoephedrine, a lot of it though, and crushed up and snorted. Aspirin,
Okay.
Coca-Cola,
Thought you were going to say something else.
caffeine. That has
Right.
caffeine's a drug. Hey, alcohol, right? That's a drug.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
I haven't done anything that would make me see things,
Right.
hallucinogenics. But this would
Hallucinogens.
hallucinogens. But this seemed like it was doing that on its own. So I imagine if you took acid or something and went in to see this movie, it would, I don't know, maybe just negate everything and everything would seem normal. It's a very strange movie. And a lot of the strangeness, I feel like people don't understand just how strange the musical is.
Yeah. The musical, have you ever seen it on Broadway?
Yeah. Let's talk about that for a minute.
Okay.
I saw it on Broadway. I remember when we went to school, because we went to school near the city, they would take us to see Broadway shows
In
all
like
the
high
time.
school and junior
Yeah.
high. Yeah.
And I remember going to see Cats in like junior high, and they loaded us in so damn early.
I don't recall.
I don't know. We were there like an hour before the curtain rose.
I don't know if that's true.
It was so long. We were just like sitting in the chairs, and I remember like being tired because the hormones and everything coursing.
The
through
hormones made you tired
yeah,
as a teenager?
hormones coursing through your body, making you tired.
All right.
And then finally, the play started. Not the play, the musical. But it didn't. It was like, oh, okay, I guess the musical's starting. The actors are out. No, the actors come into the dang audience.
Yeah.
I was
I thought
like,
that was
oh,
cool.
there's something. Oh, there's a technical problem. There's something wrong.
We got to get out of this theater. The actors are fleeing the stage.
Yeah, the actors don't know where the boundary between art and reality is, and they would just come and paw at you.
Yeah.
And I remember as a teenager with hormones, at least thinking like, some of these cats are pretty hot. And they're wearing tight leotards and
Yeah, but
and
I'm
whatnot.
too tired to do anything.
Well, I wouldn't do anything.
Paw him back.
No, I think that was forbidden. I don't know if they announced that to the entire theater, but certainly all the teenagers there. There will be no pawing back.
Yeah, it was a special teen matinee where they had to be like, all right, boys.
That is weird.
We tried to tire you out, walking you around. We made you sit here for an hour
Yeah.
to bore you.
Yeah, but now some beautiful dancers are going to come out and paw at you, and we don't want to, clean up the seats afterwards.
I think when I was like 5 or 6, I had seen the commercials on TV.
The commercials were constant when
Yeah.
we were growing up.
And it looked so cool.
Cats, now and forever,
At the
Winter Garden Theater.
Yeah. And they always showed
I'll stop before we get a copyright notice.
yeah. When I was a child, I learned how to play that part of that song on the piano.
Oh, really? Do you
Yeah.
still know how to play it?
Probably not.
Yeah, you should relearn.
I played it by ear, Tom.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think my parents thought like, oh, this kid's a genius because I was like
Yeah.
5 or 6 when I did that.
Yeah, he's some kind of a prodigy.
Yeah. And I was like, and they were like, get him to the Winter Garden Theater.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll come back and do that thing where he comes and like just plays all the songs on the piano after hearing them once.
Andrew Lloyd Webber, we have your next sensation.
Yeah. Yeah. They were like, oh, maybe we'll
He's
meet Mr.
Timmy
Lloyd
the
Webber.
piano playing boy.
Yeah. And I went maybe 6 or 7. And the other aspect
Mhm.
is it's in a junkyard. So
Yeah,
the set was
set
all
looks like a junkyard.
and even when you're sitting down, there's cat eyes that glow,
Yes!
and then
I forgot about
they're
that.
illuminated, and then
Recede.
they turn off. Yeah. And I was just like, from the minute I step in this dang place, this is the most entertaining thing I've ever seen in my life. Maybe that's why they brought us there so early as teens, so we could watch the cat eyes turn
I
on
think
and
it
off.
was. I mean, back then that was.
I think we were
that
probably
was
there for
very
15
immersive.
minutes, but it was in the time before phones.
Yeah,
so
there was
it just
nothing to
felt
do.
forever. Yeah.
It's like, oh,
and
good.
like you wanted to talk to your friends, but you were sitting in a seat and weren't
they
allowed
were
to get
constantly
up. Yeah.
shushing. Yeah, and you weren't allowed to sit. They were very good when they would bring us to Broadway shows of making sure like we were not sitting even close to anyone we would talk to.
Oh God, I had to sit next to this lady when we saw Miss Saigon. This guy's mom, who was just weeping from the opening number,
Uh-huh.
just weeping and weeping, and she
When
kept
you-
passing me tissues as if I was also crying.
When they,
It's like I'm a shitty 16-year-old boy. I'm not paying
Yeah.
attention.
I'm thinking about, I don't know, monster trucks or something while this is going on.
Thinking about those cats from a couple of years ago, those ladies in the tight leotards at the Broadway show, the other Broadway
Lady,
show.
I'm 16 years old. I'm thinking about Dan Cortez right now and what he's up to, what he's got cooking for us next.
I always thought Dan Cortez and Daisy Fuentes would get married one day.
Right?
Yeah.
They had a very flirtatious relationship.
Yeah.
I think the flirting was through pre-recorded commercials or whatever.
Yeah.
But I still thought
Yeah.
she ended up with Richard Marx,
Yeah.
old enemy of the show.
Should I reignite my feud with Richard Marx?
No, please
in
don't.
2020?
No.
Hey, let's make that the show
What?
from now on. It's a new decade.
Uh-huh.
Let's start shit.
No. That's a one time you did it and you immediately got called out on it.
I know, and I
then
backed down because the Tim of the 2010s was a little coward. But now I'll fight back.
In what way?
I'll hit them back.
Oh, I see. You're going to be one of those guys like, well, you come after me, I hit back.
10 times
10
harder.
times harder. Yeah.
Yeah.
You say just something like disgusting that makes everybody embarrassed to even
Yeah.
know
Or like make a threat.
you. Right.
Go too far.
Um,
Tim and Tom, the go too far guys.
no
Ooh.
thanks. Ooh, that doesn't roll off the tongue or anything.
Say it.
Tim and Tom, the go too far guys. No, I don't like it. It's horrible.
The guys who go too far.
Yeah, I don't want to be. Oh, have you heard? Oh, this is Tom. He does a podcast. Oh, what's it about? Oh, he goes too far.
Yeah, he takes things too far.
Speaking of that chaperone with you at the Miss Saigon musical, that's a musical or a play?
Musical.
Yeah, they should. When you have to sign up for like a chaperone, there's like a slip. There should be a little checkbox like, will you cry while you're being a chaperone? If you're going to cry, no, you shouldn't
Why?
be a
Because she
chaperone.
couldn't uphold her duties as a chaperone sitting
Yeah,
in
what
a
if
theater.
what if mayhem broke out and she was too busy sobbing to do anything about it?
What is she meant to do in that situation?
Shield the children.
That's what chaperones are
Yeah.
signing up for, to be
Human
human
shields.
shields.
Yeah,
Yeah, the children are our future.
exactly. That they should have to sign an oath that says, "I believe that children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way."
Yeah.
And I won't cry. I swear to God. They
Oh.
should make them swear to God.
I forgot. I came up with fun names that we can call each other for this episode.
Okay. Oh, cat names?
You're Rum Tom Tugger,
Uh-huh.
and I'm Timbleshanks.
What? Is there a something Shanks in the movie?
Skimbleshanks?
Oh, a Skimble Shanks.
Yeah, but it's Timbleshanks
Timble Shanks
and Rum Tom Tugger.
Okay.
So don't call me Tim anymore. I'm Timbleshanks.
Right.
Tim for short.
Well, do you know though? So this is one of the first things that happens in the movie is that there's a song about how all cats have 3 names.
Right.
The names people give them,
Mm-hmm.
the names other cats call them,
Right.
and then a third name that nobody knows but the cat itself. Which why?
That's
Don't
between-
even mention it then. That's not a thing. Nobody has a name.
The first two make sense.
Right, that's fine.
Because, like, how is a human supposed to... They don't speak cat.
Right, a human.
Except when we're let into this world and get to hear all the things they say.
Yeah, and I understand a cat's, somebody's given a cat a name and they're like, what? That's not the name I go by. I already speak cat and I've got a name. Fine, though, I'll occasionally respond to this name, which makes sense why cats often don't respond to their names when they're called, because they're like, oh, right, yeah, I'm Tim. Forgot about that. But a third name that only they know, that's stupid. Why do you need that?
I don't know. It's between... It's for... Look, Tom, maybe it's their mantra when they meditate.
Oh, okay. They don't show them meditating in the movie at all.
Do they ever show them licking their butts?
The movie, it starts off, this movie has no plot. And the musical has no plot.
It's a bunch of songs sung by cats about themselves.
Yeah. So you
They're
just get-
auditioning to die.
yeah, kind of.
hmm
The whole thing is that we're following a cat named Victoria.
Played by Victoria Beckham.
No,
Played by who?
played by some ballerina.
Okay.
I think it was her first movie role.
All right.
Let me tell you something else about all these dancers in this thing, Tim. At one point, Taylor Swift shows up
Mhm.
as a cat, not as herself. She looks gigantic next to all these people. And Taylor Swift is certainly not a gigantic person.
Okay.
But because
But her cat character is bigger
no,
than the other
no,
cats.
it's not anything like that. It's not forced perspective like Guinness World Records resorts to. It's just that all these dancers are so short and skinny that when Taylor Swift comes along, somebody who in real life is still very skinny, she like towers over them in a menacing way.
Wait, say that again?
All the like dancers that they got to play the cats,
Okay.
they're very short and very thin.
Like Judi Dench,
No, not Judi Dench.
Jennifer Hudson.
She doesn't come until later.
What about James Corden?
Not them. They don't have like big dance numbers. Taylor Swift has a dance number with a bunch of other cats, and she looks like she's 3 times the size of everybody else.
Okay. So she's a big cat. She's 48.5
No, I
inches
think it's
long.
just that the. You're trying to say she's some kind of world record breaking cat?
Hey, if anyone's going to break a world record, it's going to be Taylor Swift.
That's true. She's very determined.
yeah.
So,
You know what movie Taylor Swift should be in?
what?
Snakes.
Why? Oh, because she's a snake.
Yeah.
According to what's her name?
Katy Perry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're friends now again, I heard.
yeah. Thank God.
That's what I said when I found out. So we get this cat called Victoria that comes out.
Mm-hmm.
She gets thrown. She's in a bag, and they
Played
throw
by
her in an
Francesca
alley.
Hayward.
Yeah, they throw her in the alley, and all the cats come out and they sing at her, and they sing this song about the names.
The naming of cats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you think, oh, okay. Well, at the end of the movie, she'll get her cat name. Nope, never gets a cat name. I don't think they ever call her Victoria again.
Okay.
I think they're like, what's your name? And then she's like, it's Victoria. And they're like, a cat has 3 names or something like that. And they sing a whole song, and then the whole issue's dropped, and she never says her name again.
All right. I have no problem with that. Would you have cared if your name is like, oh, it's blah, 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 blah.
That was the best one you could come up with?
I'm still thinking about
You
this
come up
cat's
with-
brain.
Stop.
I
thinking
can't,
about-
I'm so pissed.
if somebody scanned your brain right now, that's what they'd see.
Yeah. They'd
A
see.
cat looking at a picture of its brain.
No, you don't understand. The cat wasn't looking at a picture of its brain. It downloaded humans downloaded an image off a cat's brain.
Of what?
What the cat saw,
And what did it see?
I don't
A
remember.
bird?
That's not important.
It's very important. What if it just downloaded, the cat wasn't thinking about anything and they just downloaded static? And they're like, oh, that's what the cat was thinking about.
Yeah, but it was something. It wasn't static. I think the cat might have been dead too.
What?
Yeah.
So they got the memories
Yeah,
off
a
of
cat's
dead
memory.
cat?
That's what that song "Memories" about.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense. So the cats, they tell Victoria about these the names, and the names are just the beginning of some insane vocabulary that exists only in this movie. So all the cats are Jellicle cats,
Mm-hmm.
but they all want to be the Jellicle choice
Mm-hmm.
so that they can go to the Heaviside layer.
Right. Hell.
No, I think it's heaven. I think
No.
it's supposed to be heaven.
Yeah.
But they're all Jellicle cats, but they all want to be Jellicle cats, even though they are Jellicle cats, and they all want to get the
No, they want to be the chosen Jellicle.
They want to be the Jellicle choice, which will then make them the Jellicle cat.
Okay.
It makes no sense, and Jellicle's not a name.
I mean,
not
it's a name.
It's not a word. It doesn't mean anything.
What does Tom mean?
It means me. It means my name. If they said you can make up a word, that's fine. But say, oh, here's the word we made up, jellicle. This is what it means. It means, cats that like to have fun or something. That would be fine. They don't ever do that.
You got to do that work on your own, Tom. Andrew Lloyd Webber and T.S. Eliot, they're not going to sit there and spell things out for you.
I was trying the entire movie to work out what the hell jellicle meant.
You just let it go, man.
And they even had songs. They had a song that was like jellicle cats, jellicle cats, and the song explained nothing.
What did it explain, though?
It explained that jellicle cats are jellicle cats, or something along those lines. Jellicle cats are jellicle cats are jellicle cats.
That's disrespectful. Jellicles do, and jellicles can.
Uh-huh.
Jellicles can, and jellicles do. Jellicle cats sing jellicle chants. Jellicles old and jellicles new.
That's it?
Jellicle song and jellicle dance. Jellicle songs for jellicle cats. Jellicle songs for jellicle cats. Jellicle songs for jellicle cats.
Jellicle songs for jellicle cats.
Cats. And that's where we get the name Cats for the musical.
Oh, it came from that song.
Yeah. Can you ride on a broomstick to places far distant?
So they're witches. A jellicle cat is a witch.
Yeah. Familiar with candle, with book, and with bell?
Cats can't read books.
Were you Whittington's friend, the Pied Piper's assistant?
Who's Whittington?
Have you been an alumnus of heaven and hell?
What?
Are these the actual? Are you mean like a minx? Are you lean like a lynx?
You have to check.
Are you keen to be seen when you're smelling a rat?
That's fine. That's all cat stuff. Great.
Were you there when pharaohs commissioned the Sphinx? Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, are
cats.
they? Yeah. If you were and you are, you're a jellicle cat. So it's a cat. You're a jellicle cat if you're a cat.
Yeah.
And if you've been to both heaven and hell.
Right. And if you're immortal.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you helped the Pied Piper steal all those kids, I think.
Was it kids or rats?
No, he purported to get the
Yeah, he said,
cats,
I'm
and
going
then
to
he
get the...
ran off with the kids.
Yeah. Isn't that always the way? These Pied Pipers.
Pied Pipers. Constantly fooled by Pied Pipers.
So then we meet more cats after this whole... The first song, I swear to God, it's 15 minutes long.
The naming of cats? That
Yeah.
song? Okay.
And then maybe that and the jellicle cats. They sing jellicle cats or jellicle about 1,000 times. And then we get to Rebel Wilson. She's like an indoor cat.
Okay. I like Rebel Wilson.
You do? I don't like Rebel Wilson.
Jenny Anydots.
That's her name?
Mm-hmm. Did you even see the movie, Tom?
Yeah, that doesn't sound right. Jenny Anydots?
Yeah.
Maybe they changed it for the movie.
It's that was her name.
Did they call her Jenny for short? I think they call her Jenny for short. They call her Jenny for short, and she has
Marika's gonna murder you.
She has a whole.
She's gonna murder both of us.
She has a whole song and dance number, and then she reveals these mice that have the face of children that she's I don't know, threatened with death to play in a band for her.
Oh, they play in a band?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then there's marching cockroaches, but they're women. They're just regular women that are wearing like cockroach costumes, and then she starts eating them.
All right.
But they're
It's
people.
a psychedelic movie,
oh,
man.
it's horrifying. And like
It's supposed to be. It's a comment on society.
For
on Jellicle society.
I thought Jellicle society was a good society.
Mm.
For that reason alone, the fact that a cat Rebel Wilson starts eating tiny cockroach-sized women, don't do drugs before you go see this movie. You're going to wind up in a psych ward. She's like eating them in half and stuff.
No, because when you see a regular Rebel Wilson movie and you're on drugs and you see that happen,
Yeah.
you're like, oh man, this is crazy. But when you see that happen, I bet it seems normal.
Right. You might want to go back to your drug dealer and say, hey, I want a refund.
Yeah, all I saw was a regular Rebel Wilson movie with her doing normal things.
Yeah.
What movies has Rebel Wilson been in? I might not know who she
Bridesmaids?
is.
No. Oh, she's in the Pitch Perfect movies. That's her claim to fame.
I haven't seen those films. Have you seen those films?
I saw the first one
Why'd you see it?
because I like Anna Kendrick.
Yeah, you're one of these guys. It's like, hey, my girl's in that movie. I gotta go see my
One
girl.
of these guys. What is that supposed to mean?
Well, you
My girl's in this movie. I'm a 1930s gangster. My girl's in the picture. I gotta go see it.
No, you're like an old man who's like, that's my girlfriend. I love her. I'll see her in anything she does.
I'm an old man who thinks women in movies are my girlfriend.
Yeah, like you're a fan of a lady.
Uh-huh.
You're like, I think that lady's pretty. I'm gonna see all the movies she's in.
Yeah, it's mostly the American public.
That's why you see movies, to see a pretty lady.
Or a hunk.
Uh,
I mean, you know probably better than anyone, Tim, that all the movies I see have hunks in them.
that's
I will
true.
not go see a movie with ugly men. Hunks only.
They
For-
they put ugly men in movies all the time.
I won't go to see a movie that's exclusively ugly men. You gotta have at least one hunk in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Who was the hunk in The Irishman? Ray Romano?
Who was the hunk in The Irishman? Yeah, probably Ray Romano. He aged the most gracefully.
Yeah, Ray Romano turned into quite a... Look, history will will vindicate me on this.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody loves Raymond. Better than
Oh, I
Seinfeld.
thought that was just gonna be your statement.
Everybody loves Raymond.
Look, I'm gonna say what everybody's afraid to say. Everybody loves Raymond.
Nah, not Robert.
He tolerates Raymond at best.
Yeah. He loves him.
So then, a movie's nothing without conflict, Tim.
Mm-hmm.
And we got conflict in spades with this cat. This cat called McCavity,
Okay.
played by Idris Elba.
Right.
First off, we see him in like wanted posters before we see him. And in the wanted posters,
Who made the wanted posters?
look,
The other cats?
nothing in this movie makes any sense. The scale of the cats is constantly changing.
That's okay.
Sometimes the cats are the size of mice. Sometimes they're the size of people. And
You
then when we
didn't complain.
What? About Ant-Man? That's part of the thing. He changes sizes. When we see backgrounds of London, it takes place in London. There's a lot of like signs and stuff, and they all are cat themed. So you get the impression that, this is a world where humans don't exist. There's only
No, but
cats.
humans give the cats one of their names.
Right.
So humans do exist. Otherwise, why would they be singing about them?
Of course. But there are all these businesses and stuff that have like cat names that say it's like a bar, but it just serves milk because that's what cats like.
Right.
So it doesn't.
A lot of cats
Mhm.
are lactose intolerant.
Is that true?
Mhm.
Huh. It just doesn't make any sense now that I think even more about it, that it exists in a world where the people are also cat-like, I guess. But there are all these wanted posters for Idris Elba's character where he has like much more of a cat face. He has like a mouth and a nose of a cat.
Right.
And I'm seeing this first. I'm like, oh no, I don't want to see a guy that looks like that. He doesn't look like that. He looks like Idris Elba, but with cat ears and fur.
Mm-hmm.
And his name's McCavity, and he sings a whole song about how that's his name.
Yeah, that's what all the songs are.
And
What kind of cat was he?
like a bad cat, I guess. That's the thing.
He was the mystery cat, Tom.
They talk about him like he's really bad, but they don't give any examples. But then later on in the movie, he can teleport himself and other cats. And he's teleporting them all to a barge for unknown reasons to make him walk a plank, I guess.
Just because you don't understand
no.
what the cats are doing doesn't mean it's
no,
wrong.
it's because he wants to be the Jellicle choice.
Yeah, they all do.
So he teleports all the front runners to the barge. So then he can say to Dame Judi Dench, old Deuteronomy, that's her name. That's not just a nickname I have for Judi Dench.
You have called her that for years, though, before she was even cast.
She was originally cast in the first production on the West End,
Wow.
but snapped her Achilles tendon and could not be in missed opening night. Was not in Cats until now as Old Deuteronomy. And let me tell you, in this movie, you get to see that Judi Dench has very bad teeth.
Okay.
That's all.
Were they her real teeth?
I'd hope so.
Were they cat teeth?
No, they were regular human teeth, but they did all this work to make it look like she had fur, and they couldn't, fix her teeth a little bit.
I mean, now I need to see these teeth. I can't.
Just like a lot of
right.
It looked like somebody.
I'm gonna look that up, but first I'm gonna look up how they downloaded a picture off a cat's brain.
It looked like Judi Dench was had gone to her first appointment to get some bridge work done, and then filmed this movie in between when they finished it or something.
Her mouth is closed in all of these pictures.
Yeah, because they want to sell tickets, don't they?
No, not just. I just did an image search for Judi Dench. Is that true? Look at every single result is her with her mouth slammed shut. She's not smiling, showing teeth at all.
No. Turn Safe Search off. I think that's probably what's doing it.
Let me just. Oh dear.
So Judi Dench shows up. She's Old Deuteronomy. She's going to make the Jellicle choice. Idris Elba.
Her teeth are fine.
Macavity's like, I made all the other cats disappear. Now I'm the Jellicle choice. Idris Elba throws off the overcoat he's wearing, and he is just naked as the day he was born all of a sudden. And it's very...
You see his wiener?
No, nobody has genitals in this movie or nipples. But for some reason... I guess because
you were really looking for the nipples.
No, I guess the color of Idris Elba's fur is very close to his skin color, and he's very short-haired cat, and it just looks like he's naked as soon as he takes this robe off and starts dancing around. And again, he is just much bigger than everybody else in the movie. So all of a sudden, it's like, oh, my God, there's just like a big naked man dancing here.
All right. Well, there's a hunk. There's the hunk came to see.
I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
It was just like, I would have liked a little preparation before then.
What do you mean preparation?
This guy would appear on screen to him all of a sudden and say, Macavity, his name, and make himself and a cat disappear. And then sometimes he would say, Macavity, and he would appear.
Yeah, and you're saying this cat isn't a badass?
He is a badass, but I don't know why everybody else saw that.
Because he was disappearing cats, Tom.
What's Jennifer Hudson's cat's name? Grumblebell? Grisabella, Marika said.
Marika's going to punch you in the face when this is all done.
Jennifer Hudson must have had in her contract, every shot of me, I need to have snot pouring out of my nose into my mouth. Because I'm crying so hard. She's
Jennifer
just
Hudson?
crying in every scene.
How was her performance of Memory?
Oh, I mean, she belted. That last verse in Memories where they really memory. We're like, yeah, but the words are memories. She doesn't ever say memory.
Tom, you're just saying false things.
It's when you sing that song, it goes memory, not memories.
Yeah.
Memories like the
No, just because you don't know something doesn't mean that everybody else is wrong.
Well, let me tell you though, when she gets that final verse, holy hell, does she belt it out? Blew my hair back.
The touch me.
Yeah, touch me. It was like that the old Maxell commercials. Remember them from before we were born?
Yeah.
It was like that. But aside from that...
Did you see this in 4DX, by the way?
No, I wish. But before that, every time you see her, she's just real sad, and all the other cats are like, get the hell out of here, idiot. And they're like, why are all the cats so mean to her? And then it's like, oh, well, she got involved with Macavity. It's like, right, and what the hell does that mean? What does Macavity do that's so bad?
Use your imagination, man.
I don't want to use my imagination. Explain everything to me. That's why I'm going to the movies, to learn some things. And then, should I
Did
explain
you
what
like the movie?
No, I hated it.
I told you that you shouldn't go because you wouldn't like it.
Let me tell you,
And you're like, no, it'll be cool. I'm going
the
to drop a lot of acid.
the top 2 reasons I hated it, and then one reason why I liked it.
Okay.
The first reason is that towards the end of the movie, this is one of those like remember the last Lord of the Rings movie that had like 10 false endings?
I didn't see it.
Well, you should see it. How do you don't know how the saga ends,
They win.
but at what cost?
It's probably considerable.
It's not that bad. But
Oh, this I got to see.
this movie, it keeps ending, and you're like, all right, you're getting your coat on, you're putting your hat on, you're putting
And
your
then bam,
seat
another
up.
verse of memory.
Yeah, well, and then just
Another
like,
reprise of Jellicle
yeah,
Cats.
and that happens. There's just a whole bunch of other shit that happens, and then when you think it's over, all of a sudden, old Deuteronomy herself turns to the camera
Oh, nice.
and addresses the audience.
Oh, that scares the hell out of me.
So especially if you're on acid, no. If you're on any kind of drugs, all of a sudden the characters
I don't need to be on drugs to be
scared by a movie talking to you.
Yeah. I'm always unsettled by a breaking of the fourth wall.
So she's breaking the fourth wall, and there are 3 characters behind her that are all like listening to her, but not also breaking the fourth wall, which I was just fascinated watching them acting.
Okay.
So she breaks the fourth wall and just talks a lot, and then like goes into another number, and you're like, all right, that's the end. No, it comes back to her, still breaking the fourth wall, like explaining more things to you and showing you how bad her teeth are. And then Jennifer Hudson, no, I think it was before then, she flies off into the Heaviside layer, which is
Yeah.
heaven, I guess.
Yeah, whatever. You don't have to understand it.
But they just put her in a hot air balloon and send her off.
That's what we do.
Eventually, that's not what we do. Eventually, that thing's just going to pop and she's going to plummet to her death.
You don't know that.
That's true. Cats can always land on their feet.
Exactly.
So that was one thing I didn't like. The second thing I didn't like was that...
That was like 8 things that you just talked for like 15. Oh, you didn't like the false endings.
Yeah. Well, I didn't like Judi Dench breaking the fourth wall.
Okay.
I also didn't like... Well, this is going to be a 2-parter. I had ordered a popcorn and a soda and candy in advance.
Okay. Where did you see this?
At an AMC theater.
Which one?
The Village 7.
Okay.
I have AMC A-list, Pat. I'm on the A-list.
Wow. Do you... I can only imagine the look on your fucking face, the self-important look on your face when you skip the line to get in the preferred line. That
it's incredible.
You would be the worst billionaire or horribly rich person because whenever you have even like
a modicum of power.
Yeah, exactly. Like I've been to concerts with you where we've been friends with the person playing, so we have a backstage pass, and you treat everybody like dirt. The way you like push through the crowd without even looking at
Out of the
anybody and just being
way.
like, yeah, I go back there. Even if you have like the lowest level of the 3 backstage passes, you treat everybody like such shit.
That's how you
I
get
can
ahead
only
in this
imagine you in the
world.
concession line where you have the fast pass
They have a
line
priority pass line.
there.
Well, so for this, I was supposed to be able to, because I had ordered ahead, just have the popcorn waiting for me. It wasn't waiting for me.
Oh no, this poor service employee that had to feel your wrath.
It wasn't there. I don't know what was going on. I think they
The
don't.
movie theater. Everything's always fucked up at the movie theater.
This movie theater in particular,
Did
the
you
way
speak to the manager?
No, but the way they had everything set up, the concession stand was before the ticket taking.
Okay.
So you would have to walk out to go to this concession stand and then go back through.
Why don't you fucking get it before you go in?
Because I didn't realize that was the setup.
Well, you passed it on the way in, didn't you?
But I thought there would be more, because when I did this express payment thing, it's like, all right, what theater are you in? I was like, oh, okay, so it's going to be in a concession stand on a different floor. The Village 7 is like 14 floors high.
May
and
I
of
ask
course,
you to do something, Tom?
What?
Use your head.
I was using my head. I was thinking, well, they're smart guys at AMC. They probably have this popcorn weighing at my seat or something.
Mm-hmm.
They ask you what your seat is. It's implied. Well, why you need to know where my seat is if you're not delivering the popcorn to me?
Right. So did you go in there and wait for them to deliver it?
No.
So you knew that wasn't going to happen.
Once I got up to close to the theater, I was like, oh, the concession stands up here aren't open. Because when you're doing it, it says, like, we'll have it ready at the closest concession stand. And there's a big theater, so I thought, oh, it'll be the one upstairs, but it wasn't open.
This is your problem with the movie Cats.
That's part one of my that's part one of the second part of my problem. The other one was they had a lot of sauces out, and they had some spicy mayonnaise that looked pretty good. So I put one of those in my pocket. And then Monday morning, I reach into my jacket pocket, and it's all slimy because the spicy mayonnaise burst in my pocket over the weekend.
Wow.
It was I was on my way to lunch, and then I had just like a spicy mayonnaise hand the whole time.
Let me ask you this.
Uh-huh.
Was it in your jacket?
Yeah.
Or was it in your jeans pocket?
No. It was in my jacket. If it was in my jeans pocket, I would have just gone home.
So wait, you went into the theater,
Yeah.
realized you had to go out and get your concession stand. You didn't take your coat off? You went back out to the concession stand in your coat?
Yeah, because I didn't get to my seat. I got like halfway up the theater and I was like, oh, this thing, I'm telling you, Tim, it's like an endless escalator you're going up.
I know.
After escalator. So it's like halfway up, I was like, I feel like I'm not seeing these other concession stands
and
open.
you don't walk on the escalator, right?
I do walk on the escalator.
Did you? Were you walking at that point?
Yeah, I'm impatient. Of course I walk on the escalator.
Well, this is quite a damning criticism of the movie Cats.
But here's the thing that I did like about Cats. There was like this rowdy group of like very obvious theater kids, like college theater kids that were there to see it. And they were laughing way, way, way too hard at everything. Whereas like, yeah, that's funny, but like, come on, take it down a couple of notches. It's not that funny. It's just like, oh, this movie's ridiculous. After the movie, I went to the bathroom, and one of the ringleaders of this group, this real little nerdy kid, he's wearing like a suit jacket, and he was the one like really like bah, and everything. I walk into the bathroom, he's in there sobbing. And then I leave the bathroom, and he comes out after. He, I guess wipes himself up and comes out after and acts like nothing's wrong to his group of friends that's waiting there. And then I have to like ride the escalator down with this whole group, and I'm with a few people, and I'm like looking at them like I gotta tell you guys something after we get out of the theater. And he's like, yeah, I thought the most ridiculous part was that Grizzlebear sang that song. It's like, this guy was just crying in the bathroom for some reason. And then the other thing was one of his friends was saying that was bragging to the other guys that he had gone to that he had gone to Coyote Ugly the night before because one of his friends is a bartender there. And I was like, no, your friend's not a bartender at Coyote Ugly. That's what the bartenders tell everyone so that they don't feel bad coming back. Like, no, you're my friend. You can come here. Those were the two things I liked about Cats.
You like the show, you can friend us on Facebook, facebook.com/complete-guide. You can get more information at the internet website, tcgte.com. Tom, take it.
You can follow us on Twitter at Complete Guide. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Tom Reynolds.
You follow me at your pal Tim.
And if you want to support the show, check out tcgt.com/Amazon for your Amazon shopping, and check out patreon.com/Complete Guide for Books the Podcast. This week, a very special episode, Tim.
Yeah, entitled "Oh Henry, Oh Baby."
It's a one-off where Tim's read some O. Henry stories, and he's going to talk about them. And then next week, we're going to dive into another novel.
Yeah.
for Tim. There will be voting. If you're a Patreon member, you get to vote. So keep an eye out for that email.
Yeah.
Tim, has my description of cats made you any more interested in cats?
Mm,
Oh, also, when this kid was talking about Coyote Ugly, I couldn't help but thinking of the time I was in One Tree Hill, because that took place at like what was meant to be like an obvious riff at Coyote Ugly. Because I was thinking to myself, like, I'm like, I think I've been to Coyote Ugly. And then I was like, oh, no, only in the pictures. I don't think I've been to the real Coyote Ugly. Only on the silver screen have I been to Coyote Ugly.
all right, we'll see you next week.
That was a HeadGum podcast.